Now, with lack of exercise or active play, we're going to see an increase by default of obesity. And childhood obesity is a problem that um, is worldwide, but we have a bigger problem, unfortunately, in the United States than any other country. Um, in one statistic, 2012, 18% of elementary school children were found to be obese. And we're not talking about overweight, we're talking about obese, which is the highest level of being overweight. So, an overweight person is defined as having the BMI above the 85th percentile. An obese person is a person that has it above the 95th percentile. So when you have 18% of your middle childhood population being obese, that definitely tells you something about the change in the structure of our society. Having to be worried about our kids eating enough back in the day and worrying about malnutrition as the threat for children to now worrying about obesity and what comes with obesity health wise is something to really reflect on. Now, obesity is caused by many factors. So it's a combination of nature and nurture. And anyone who had a problem with weight gain and knows very well how hard it is. And that's why it is very critical to address the problem from all perspectives. Yes, obesity has something to do with nature. So genes, specific genes, dictate certain types of processes in your body. So the way your body gains weight and the way you have food preferences is different than somebody else. The way your body metabolizes is different than someone else. So there are factors that could aid in the development of an obese person. In addition to nature, we have nurture. And nurture here is, when we talk about children, we're talking about a household. So parents play the biggest factor in what are they feeding their children. And we're not even talking only about the middle childhood. We're talking about kind of stages of getting to this result of having this high percentage of obese children in elementary school. It starts with the infancy when we opted for formula versus breast milk. Formula is statistically shown to have increased the possibility of obesity than children who were breastfed. In preschool years, remember, these are the years of building those healthy habits. What kind of food are we giving these children? What kind of sugary additives, unhealthy food habits or eating habits are we exposing them to? Food preferences are we exposing them to? And then comes the school age period, and one of the major contributing factors to obesity is the lack of sleep. Um, Believe it or not, sleep affects your body's metabolism, and children during school age period are not getting enough sleep. They're not also getting enough active outdoor time, like we said. So outdoor time, exercise, movement in general is going to help these children with their development. Another factor, and that is part of nurture as well, is the public policies that we have. As a nation, we have a responsibility to what kind of ideas are we giving our children when we talk about healthy food intake. And when we have a system such as TV commercials or school lunches that does not take into consideration health factors, does not have any regulations on what children see or are attracted to when they see a commercial for a cereal or see a commercial for a a candy bar or whatever, or a juice. These are the things that affect children's choices later on, and therefore becomes a kind of like a national responsibility from the policymakers to help children make better choices. Now, with one of the closely related problems that come with overweight is asthma. And asthma in the United States, of course, the rates have gone up worldwide, just like obesity, but in the United States, the rates have tripled since 1980. And asthma is basically a chronic disease that affects the respiratory system of the body. So it kind of constricts or narrows the airways and makes the person unable to breathe, have a hard time breathing. And the symptoms are when somebody has an asthma attack, you can see them having a hard time breathing, having shortness of breath, or wheezing, or their chest is tightening or coughing. These are all symptoms of somebody who is experiencing an asthma attack. However, a person who is diagnosed with asthma has a continuously tighter or inflamed airways. So the causes for asthma are, again, just like obesity, nature and nurture together. So there are a few alleles that a person can inherit that could be a contributing factor to developing asthma. And as far as nurture, there are aspects in the environment that can exacerbate or trigger the asthma attack. And these are, for example, carpet, pollution, if you have any house pets, or smoking, secondhand smoke, dust mites, and definitely less outdoor time and more of indoor. So those are all examples of how nature and nurture together contribute to those diseases or those health problems that children might experience during middle childhood.